Hello guys, welcome all. So in our previous lecture, as we have already covered the V8 engine, how the in JavaScript the V8 engine will work, and what all steps it will follows. So it has some parser, EST, which is a abstract syntax tree, and post that it has an interpreter and a profiler and compiler. Interpreter basically like execute line by line, and once it will get executed, then it will convert to binary code, and then it will be read by CPU, and basically like machine level language it will make. And if it is having a lot of code and which need to be executed repeatedly, then the profiler will get called, and then compiler, it's also called as a turbofan, then it converts into optimized code and then binary code and then read by the machine level language. So we have discussed already the step-by-step breakdown, and how lexical analysis means tokenizing and parsing, like how the variable declaration and identifier literals, those all the things will get separated by tokenizing, and we create the EST, which is abstract syntax tree. The token are converted into structured tree representing. So we have seen that in application as well. So if you want, you can explore this ESTEX Explorer. So basically here we'll be having that how we are going to learn that one. So that also we have seen that x is equal to 10. So if we are trying typing this one, so we can see that it will get split into different variables and declaration, identifiers and literals and all those things. It will split it, and then it will get read by the converted to the binary like readable language and all. So these all the things we have discussed, and also we have discussed about a garbage collector and how the automatically it will free up the memory which is not used, means object which is not under like used, then it will get removed. And machine code execution that we have seen, and also we have seen the difference between the byte code, source code, and what is binary code. Those all the things we have seen, and we also give like push the code with the help of VS code, that like we are using the command code. Using command code we have pushed the code into our git repository. Those are the things we have seen. And post that, like we are discussing today about the one of our major like important points regarding the JavaScript. So those are like keywords, identifier and literals and operators. So these are the basic fundamentals of a JavaScript which we are going to learn today. So let's start. So first we will be having the this, if it is a let x is equal to 10. So then in this, if we separate those points, like let is a keyword and x is an identifier, and it's also called as a variable name, and equal to sign is a operator, so which will basically help to assign that value into the literal sorry, identifier. So assign the value means variable value into the actual variable name. So that assigning it will be happening by the operator basically. So, and we have a keywords. These are nothing but a like reserved word we can say. And in every like even the Java also, if we consider, there also we have some keywords which are predefined words and a small unit of a code also we can call. And these are the preserved like a particularly like reserved or preserved words. So if you can see this controlling a flow, we have these if else switch case, default, or for, and while, do, break, continue. These are the keywords which are used for a controlling a flow. And variable declaration, we can use the var, let and constant. Constant is basically like if you are assigning that, we have seen the var and let when we will assign, and constant is basically like if you want that variable name, variable whatever we are assigning, so if you assign it for one time, it cannot be changed. So for that reason we are using the constant variable declaration, constant keyword will use. And function and class, so we have this all the reserved keywords. And object and operators के लिए this new, delete and instance of type of will basically tell the what type of variable it can be. So that all the things will be done by the type of and void. And we have a module wise like import, export, and from and as, and other keywords like with, debug and enum. And strict mode reserves are like implements, interface, package, and private and protected, public. And future reserved are like abstract, boolean, byte, char, double, final, and go to int, long, native, etc. So these are the reserved keywords which I are using in the JavaScript. And if I can take an example here, so we can tell to command code. Okay, so we can ask command code to create on nodes. So create a file with name 01 keyword dot mb where you going to explain the different keywords we are going to use in JavaScript and the importance of those. Okay, and put it under IQ notes folder. Okay, let us see like what all keywords and all it can create for us. So this is about the keywords. Keywords are basically a reserved words. So we have seen the different type of keywords, like if we can say here like where we have here, and also we can create a let. Okay, let x is equal to 10 like this. See, it has already created the folder. Okay, let me ask here itself update the .md file with the proper differences between where, let, and constants. So let us see like what it has mentioned. In JavaScript, keywords are the reserved words that have a special meaning to the language, and they are part of syntax and cannot be used as identifiers, variable name and function name, etc. Okay, it cannot be used as an identifier basically. So if you are declaring any identifier, okay, so for example, if I take here only, so if I'm declaring let var is equal to 10, then I can't use this as a identifier. Identifier is basically variable name. So what we are going to give it here, so this we cannot give because we can't use the variable as a, sorry, we can't use a keyword as a variable name. So this is not possible. This will give the error here, compile time. Okay, let us see like what all differences it has mentioned regarding variable and all. Control flow and all it has discussed. Okay, fine. And here is the variables, reserved words. Okay, fine. Where is the difference it has mentioned? Let me just check. Okay, side by side comparison it has done. So where is basically a function scope. Okay, let is a block scope, and it's also like scope is block, and it is a function where is a, and reassignable, it can be reassigned. Yes, it can also be reassigned, but we cannot reinitialize the value whatever assigned to the variable. Once we declare, we cannot reassign that one. And redeclaration is possible, yes, in a same scope, but here it is not. It will give the syntax error. And hoisting is hoisted and initialized as a undefined. This is a different. Hoisted means I'm not sure. Yeah, we'll check this later, but just understand like if we are initialized, if it is not, means if it is not initialized, then it will be considered as undefined. Yeah, I got it. Like, so if we are not initializing this variable, okay, if we are not initializing anything, so then it will be defined as a undefined, and here it will be default, it will be undefined, and here it has some constant values, then it will be throwing the syntax error. So if we can go to the same here, okay, so if I tell where x is equal to where Amrut is equal to 20, if I am not assigning anything, okay, and if I go to the console.log Amrut, okay, so this will be basically come as a undefined. So you can see this, it is coming as a undefined, okay. And if I tell same thing for let also, let Pavan, and if I am printing the same thing, console.log of Pavan, then this will also become as undefined. And if I now say constant remark, okay, and if I print the same thing, console.log, let us see what it will print for this one. So see guys, for Rima it is throwing a syntax error by telling ki missing initializer in a constant declaration. So for constant, we should be initialize that one. Without initializing, if we are printing, then it will throw the error, syntax error. So this is the difference between the where, let, and so if you clear this one, and if you try to print now, you can see the undefined, undefined, and a 10. So this is the major difference between the where, let, and constant. So that we have prepared the side by side notes as well, so you guys can also prepare the. Okay guys, next topic we have a identifier, and it also called as a variable name. Identifier is a name given to the variable. It means this x is a variable, and this is a literal, 10 is a literal, and also called as a variable name, and let is a keyword which we are using. And so for that we can see the examples here. So identifier rules we have, okay, so what all different rules we are following and all, so that we can see as part of this one. So where 10 is equal to a, where a is equal to 10, and if we see that we can print the variable, this is a valid one, okay, let me clear and print, okay, so this is a valid variable which I can say. And variable name can be start with a dollar, variable name can start with a underscore, and variable name can be pp, and variable name can be underscore, as we saw. So there will be like, it's a not case sensitive, so here we can give the name, and also we can give one more is a capital N and small n, so these two are different only. And variable name, first space name, we can't write a space between the variable. So if I can say, so first is one word, and we are giving a space in mid, if we are using the space, that is not a valid one, so it is a invalid one, invalid identifier. And we can give the underscore between that space, and we can also write a dollars and all between the space, and x we can write. And we can't start the variable with a number, so we can't start variable with a number like a and name, okay, we can't write like this, so this will be a invalid, considered as an invalid. These are the different like types I can say. So these are the examples of valid and invalid identifier. And so we can also have the part 2 here. So this is a part 2 where we are discussing more about identifiers. So identifier, this is a valid, name is a valid, first name, this is also valid, last name is also valid, and there are different types are there. So in variables, so there are like a naming conventions. So case, camel case we have, so where we are writing a first letter as a small, and then following letter will be a capital. So this is called as a camel case. Second one is a Pascal case. Pascal case is basically like a, we are writing the first initial name and initial letter and mid letter also both as a capital, and in between whatever it is there it will be a small. So person in that P and N is a capital. So this is how we will write a Pascal case. So here in user profile, U is a capital and profile is a P is a capital. And we have a snake case, which is a underscore separator. So if we are writing a user underscore name, so this will be called as a snake case. There are basically, these are the three major and important types which we are using: camel case naming convention, Pascal case naming convention, and snake case. And then it will come as a screening snake case, where we are using the all the names as a capital. Then we are mentioning the underscore also here, capital and underscore. Then it is a screening snake case, uppercase and underscore separator. Then this is a screening snake case. Then we have a Hungarian notation, so which will basically like a prefix type of variable not used for these days. So this is like a, earlier we are using, but now we have completely stopped using this Hungarian notation case naming convention. So where it will start S will with a small, and then user and whatever following it will be there. So first letter will be capital. So this we have stopped using. So this is called as a Hungarian notation. These days we have stopped it. Okay. Then we have a comments here. Okay. Comments, we have different kind of comments. So first it is a single line comment, where comments are basically, if we are commenting out any of the line, so then it will be ignored by the JavaScript engine. So this is a single line comment. This is called as a multi-line comment, and this is called as a document multi-line comment. Okay. So this is also called as a document or multi-line, document multi-line comment, document line comment or document multi-line comment. Okay. So these are the three different comments we have. And for like commenting, if we have let x is equal to 10, in Mac we can use the command called as a, can select, we can command and backslash we can use. So by that we can comment this line. So if we can ask AI, okay, so there is a Windows ke liye we have a control and backspace, and for this one we have a command and backspace for Mac. Okay. So I can ask it to AI, same thing, create a file with name command Mac and 3 command window dot md file under which explain proper different commands used in Windows and Mac, and put it under folder. Okay. We are creating a side by side notes as well. So which are different commands we are using for Mac and Windows, and we can put those things inside the different file, so that we can create. And one more class which we are one more notes which we need to prepare was identifier rules. So for that we can prepare one notes. Okay. And suppose this we have one IQ questions which will be basically asked during the interview. So those are interview questions which are asked, so that also we can discuss. Identifiers, so these are the IQ test. Let me know guys, like, is this a valid? my variable. So it is starting with a small case and then capital. So this is also a camel case. Okay, camel case. And invalid, why it is invalid? So it is starting with a number here. So this is a starting with digit and number. So this is a invalid identifier. then we have a one more. This is a underscore, starting with a underscore. This is also fine. Starting with a symbol like this dollar and any symbol, this is also fine. And if we are using this special characters, then it is a invalid. Okay, we should not use the special character, we can use the Unicode, that is also fine. And invalid because it has a space between the two words. And this is valid because it is a camel, this is a Hungarian case, so it is also valid. And this is invalid, why? We are using the special characters inside this, so we should not use the special character. So my add variable, so this is the invalid. And we can use the Chinese language, we can use the Hindi language, and we can use the Unicode, so this is also fine, valid only. And invalid here in case of we are using the dash, so in between, so this is also a hyphen wave we are using, so this is also a invalid identifier. And valid here, it is because of that function we are writing, so this is also valid. And invalid identifier with the reserved words, so function, so these are the keywords which we cannot use, so this is also a invalid identifier because identifier name should not be same as that of the keywords or reserved words. And valid identifier here because it has a number but it is not initialized with a number, so in this case it is a initialized with a number, so it's a invalid. And this also valid. And this is starting with a underscore, so this is also invalid case. This should be valid. Okay, this is not a valid, this is a valid. So but if we are removing this underscore, then it is a invalid because this is a key class is a reserved words, then it is not a valid. But if we are putting the hyphen means underscore, then it is a valid only. Okay guys, so these are the some examples and which are basically asked during the multiple interviews, so you just glance this before going for an interview. Okay, and now we have got the our Mac comments and window comments, which we have. CD is used for printing the directory, and directory is used to list the files what all directory we have. So these are the basic commands which we are using for the Windows. Okay, so same if we go for a Mac we have these commands. Okay, so this we are using for the Mac. Okay guys, and let me just quickly create a notes for the rules of variable. Create a file with name identity .md which contains the all the rules that we need to follow during creating the identifier and okay guys, let it create the nodes. Then we have the operators. Operators you are already aware like which all operators we are using. So this is a equal to operator. What we are using is one of a type of operator. Operators work with a operands to perform the particular task. This time the normal equal to operator is just used to assign the literal value to the identifier. So in order to assign the value to the identifier, we are using the key equals to as the operator. Okay, so here we can see the examples. Literals. So these are the literals, like whatever the type of literals we have. So this is a string literal, and this is a Boolean literal, true and false. So whether is a student is a male or female, then it will be a true or false. Let pi is equal to 3.14. So this is called as a numeric literals. So guys, like if you are from a Java background, then there we have a float, double, int, like that we have a different literals. Then in this we don't have that. All the float or double, boolean, everything will come under the numeric literal. And this single quote is also a string literal. This is a null literal. If we are assigning that to the any null value, then it is a null literal. If it is a not defined, so if I am asking you if I have a Audi car or not, so then it will be a now it is not there, or you will think like now it is undefined, then later in the future it can be defined. Now Amrut don't have any Audi or something, so then it will be a undefined. Or else you can take an example like if you are aware of any like any topic regarding the RAG or something, so you will tell like now I don't have idea, I will get the idea and I will let you know. So this is like a undefined. And this pi is also pi 2 3, this is also a numeric literal. So in numeric literal we don't have it will come like int and float, all those things will come under the numeric literals itself. So in order to identify which type of the literal it is, so we are using the type of age, type of I is student, and this all the things we are using. Type of basically defines the what type the literal belongs to. So this, for that we are using the, so if you see here now it is telling is student is not defined. Okay, is student actually defined. Let me just save it. Let undefined. Okay, got it. So it was mentioned twice. Okay, let me just comment it out. Guys, whenever you are doing some update, you need to save, and if you want to, you can just clear this also for better clarity. Okay, so now you can see this age is of a string, and student is of a Boolean literal, and this pi is of a numeric literal, and this is also alias is a single quote string literal. Null is basically object. So this guy is like we'll discuss in future, so we'll come to that why it is basically null is called as object, that we'll discuss in later part. So now just assume like null, for null any value it is there, for that literal we are treating it as object literal. So it is a object of it is of type of object. And undefined, this is undefined, and this pi is again a number. So we'll discuss about what is null and what is undefined. What is the difference between null and undefined? Undefined basically, guys, nothing is assigned to that variable name. For variable name or for the identifier, we are not assigned any value, then it will be considered as a undefined. So where is x, then it will be a undefined. Null means what? Variable exists, but developer explicitly assigned the value as no value, means empty, then that will be considered as a null. Okay, so developer is assigning that value, means assigning no value, then it will be a null value, null type. And variable exists but it has not assigned any value yet, then the JavaScript self it will accept as a it is undefined. Okay guys, so here same in case of function. Functions are basically used to execute the repeated tasks. Then if it doesn't have anything, any context inside the loop, then it will be considered as a undefined. Then this is also considered as a undefined. And here if we are assigning, we can reassign the value as well. It's not like we can't assign. So here it is not assigned, and now second I have assigned that value, then it will be printed as a 10. Let us see. Okay, what it is telling, syntax error, identifier is also already defined. Okay, so understand this guys, like if you understand this, what error it is throwing, why it is throwing, then you yourself can solve this issue. Okay, so see, like I have already defined the value as x. Okay, and again I am redefining that, means using the keyword again to define that value, then it is a throwing the syntax error by telling like already x is exist. Okay, so in that case, if I remove this one, save it, and now print this, now you got this like it's a 10. So we are reassigning that value, then it will be treated as 10. That value is stored in the x variable is 10. So this is the difference between the null and undefined. Okay guys, so the IQ level question, like whatever the in interviews it will be asked, so let no Audi car, so then is equal to null. The literal of this is null, sorry, the literal means whatever the value it is stored inside this is a null, but the type of this null value assigned literal. For that identifier, the name of this type of this identifier is object guys. So this you remember. Okay, so if this is null, this will print it as null, but the if you are considering the type of the identifier, then it will be a of object. Okay, let me print and show it to you. So see here guys, first we are printing the just what is the value stored inside this, then it will be null. What is the type of that identifier, then it will be object. The type of the identifier is which stores the null value, means which store nothing, no value. The type of that identifier is object. Hope you understood this. Okay, so let us see some of the example of literals guys. We have created 10 exercises, so we can also push these exercises to our git side by side. So in order to track this all the chapters and the session inside that whatever the exercises we have done, so those also we can store them in our GitHub repository. So please do it guys side by side, so you will not forget this in the future. Literals questions. So here the let count is equal to 42, negative count will be minus 42. We can assign this, and this is basically for a numeric and the literals IQ questions. Okay, we can assign the 0 here, that is also fine, valid. Let h is equal to 0 into ff, means this is a hexadecimal literal. Okay, type of this is hexadecimal. This is also called come in the number only. Let color is equal to binary, this will also come on inside the same thing. Okay, and let color as a hexadecimal value, it will be printed as a this value, but type of this one is a, let me just print it guys for your better understanding. Okay, so see, first we have printed this 25, and the type of this hexadecimal literal is a number. Then we have printed the value of this is binary 10, and then we have color, that value will be this one, and the type of that is number. Octadecimal we have, which is octa literal, the value of this one will be 8, and the type of that octa variable again number. And exponential also we can define in a literal. So exponential value, this is our value, and the again type of that value will be variable will be number. Same for exponential literal, this is a value and type of that will be number. So this is the one more exercise guys which we have completed. And then we have a numbers. What are different numbers? We have integer literal, and we have a floating points literal, exponential notations we have. Okay, so in JavaScript, like we have a different numbers that will be always considered as a number only, like float or double, integer, and anything like those will come under the numbers itself. Okay, so first we have an integer literal. Inside that, if we are going with a decimal, this is the most common, then it will be a coming inside the number literal itself. Okay, and binary we have seen, this will also come under the number literal. Octadecimal, so the value of this one will be 42, and this will also fall under the number literal. Hexadecimal we have base 64, and this will be again the number literal. And floating points we have, we can also assign the floating value 3.14 or something like this, This will also come under the number only. And scientific number, so 1.2, 1.5, exponential and 3, this will also come under the number literal itself. Float, this is also valid. So this, what is this guy, like 0.5, this is valid. But what about this one, 5.0, 5 point, just doesn't have 0 also, this is also valid guys. So it will be internally considered as a 5.0. This is why we call it as JavaScript as a funny language. So it will be a funny, like, even though if you are not defining the properly like 5.0, then also it will consider as a 5.0 itself. If you are writing only 5 point, then it will consider it as a valid. Exponential also we can have exponential notation. This will also consider as a number literal only. Okay, so we have different exponential also. So this is about a number literals guys, and we have a part 2 here. So these are the number literals which we are not using it actually in our any of the automation and all, we are not using this, but still guys, this will be asked in during the interviews. So we can also give the numbers as a like million, also we can give which is a underscore separated, so that is also come under a number literal. Float with separator, this also is a valid itself, so these are also valid. 5.3.14 underscore 15 underscore 92, this also considered as a like this. Okay, so we can go with a binary separator with separator, means underscore we can use, octal with the separator we can use, basically with separator also we can use the hexa with separator, octa with separator, binary with separator, float, large with separator. So these all the things are possible. And big integer we have big int, also we can use in a number literal. Okay guys, and also infinite we have, these we are not nowhere we are using, these are special numeric values. So infinite we have. Okay, and also like we have a 1 by 0 and 100 by 0 and 0 999 by 0, these are also called as a infinite identifier. Negative number divided by 0, and large collection also we have. And type of infinite will be a number again. And comparison also we have, the true and false we can have here, so that is also valid. And arithmetic we have, and minus, infinite into infinite into plus 100, infinite minus 100, infinite into 5, like this, these are all considered as a infinite, but these are all come under the numeric sorry number literal itself. So this is a NaNA possibility. So infinite by infinite Na NaN, and infinite into 0 NaN, infinite minus infinite, then it will be again NaN. So these are the possible input number literals guys. You see, these are all are possible. Okay, so we have discussed about a number literals and all in our today's session, and also we have seen the operators, what all operators we are using. And we also have this constant. Constant is like once the value is assigned, then it cannot be changed, and it has a fixed value in this case. Okay, that also we have discussed. Like for example, if I can say, let me go here. Okay, so this is a constant value we have defined already, and if I want to change that value to remand is equal to 20, and if I want to print this, then it will throw the error. Let me see. Okay, let me just clear it. See guys, so it is telling us that assignment to constant variable, but you are trying to again change that constant variable to the with another literal, so then this will throw the error here. So typo error it is showing, so we can't reassign the variable if it is a constant. Okay, so this is not possible guys. So if I print it now, so it is valid, but if I remove this, if I try to reassign the value to that constant literal, then it will throw the error. Okay, but I can reassign the value for this Pavan. Okay, let me just see. See, common value will be 20 now. So basically for let and where we can reassign the value, but for constant we cannot reassign the value. And one more thing, the difference between this one is, if you are not assigning any value, for if you are making it as undefined, then also constant will throw the error. Okay, if it is undefined, right, then it will throw the error. See, the missing initializer in the constant declaration. For constant declaration we should assign the value to some literal, then only it will be it will work, otherwise it will throw the missing initialization error. Okay, so these are the things which we want to discuss about today. So let us push this code to the our git repository, guys. So that is also important, we need to do it side by side. We have created our repository. Let me just quickly see. We have created it for Playwright, guys, basically. Push the code to this repo. See, guys, this is very easy. If you are already have the knowledge of git, how to push the code, how to merge the code and all, so then you can just simply use this AI to push the code to your directly to your repo. Okay, just you need to configure that path and all, so that I have already discussed in my previous lecture. So guys, if you are not watched that previous recording, so go and watch that first part and all. There we have shown how you can set up your path into the command code, and then you can directly push the code from the this repo to the, like, from your local to the whatever repo you have created. So this is simple steps, guys. There is no like it will be easy if you are already aware of the how to code push the code to the github, like by adding the git.add any file, then you can add the file name, or else git add all. For that you can add the dot, and then you will be having the git first you can do the git status in order to check the status, and then git comment you can do. So then you can comment that message anything and commit that one, git commit, and post git commit you can do the git push to that origin. So these are the simple steps which you can follow. But if you are already aware of this flows, then you can directly use this git AI to push your code. Okay, guys. So I guess like git push origin it has done, and done all the local file are now pushed to the file push our repo. Let us refresh. Okay, let us see like if we got all the files or not. See, guys, we got all the files, and inside the IQ notes also we can see our all the keywords and all whatever notes we have prepared, that is also present here. Okay, and we have whatever solution we have done, so those are also visible now. Okay, guys, so in next lecture we will see how we can before that, like, these are the rules whatever I have told explained, right? So these are the rules basically. So it must contains the begin with a letter or underscore or dollar, and subsequent character should also include the 0 or to 1 any number, but it should not start and cannot start with a digit, cannot start with any reserved word, and it should be case sensitive and may contain a Unicode letters, Unicode escape sequence, and cannot be contain the space, hyphen and special characters. So expect this dollar. Okay, and we have discussed some examples as well, and in our upcoming lecture we can see how we are going to use the in our code and all those, all the things we can see, and some edge cases and all, and also we can see the different like what are the incremental or decremental things. Those also we will discuss in upcoming lecture. So till there guys, keep learning and stay tuned. Bye bye guys.